This is a Nuna Triv, and today we're going to show you how to remove all of the textiles from the seat unit in case you want to wash them or conduct small sewing repairs. And the first thing we're going to do is to remove the canopy as usual. So what you'll need is some kind of small poking device. And we're going to start by disconnecting the struts that run through the canopy. So the struts go through the canopy, they're flat, and they go into this little connector here. And if you look on the side, which is open, there's a hole on the actual strut within this window in the connector. And there's a peg attached to the connector on the inside that presses in through that hole and holds the strut in place. You can take your small poking device and poke out that little peg a bit so that you can lift up on that strut. And as soon as you've pulled it high enough that that peg stays out, you can pull it all the way out like this and it'll be disconnected. So, I'm going to do that on the other side as well. After disconnecting the strut, you can reach down and begin to disconnect the textile elements. So, here on the back are a number of Velcro bits, and then this window has to come off of the folding trigger here. So we're going to disconnect all of this, and you can pull it entirely over the seat back. More Velcro on top here. And it will fall forwards. Then, if you look here on either side, there is a elastic strap that runs around the adapter, and you just have to pull it off of that adapter. And the other side. There we go. And then you can remove that strut that you disconnected. So it's here, and you're just going to thread it all the way out and set it aside. Now you have the canopy removed. Okay, we're going to start by removing the seat liner then. So there's a Velcro at the top. You want to open up the harness and separate out the sides. Yeah. Then you can pull the shoulder straps through the seat liner, side straps through the seat liner, one as well. And then you have your central strap, which is a little bit of a tighter fit, but it's essentially the same idea, just pulling it down and through. And this portion is removed. Okay, I'm going to remove the seat unit, and it's going to be a little easier to see the rest. Okay, then we're going to remove the underlying textiles. So we're going to start by pulling off the canopy struts. There is a little sewn on circle here that indicates that there's a button here. You press in, and this allows you then to pull these out. Then on the back side, there's a zipper. You want to unzip this. If you look under here on this portion that goes down onto the leg rest, there's another button, and you need to unbutton it and then pull that strap through that little loop. And then there's Velcro, and then we again need to feed that central buckle through. And more Velcro here on the back. Then if you spin it around and you look underneath this flap, you'll see that there are these elastic bands that are attached to pegs on the backboard. So you need to detach those. After detaching those elastic straps, you then want to pull out on these little plastic connectors here that are attached to these straps. Turn them sideways and then press them in through these little holes in the backboard. Then these are for the side straps, and so we're going to pull this in taut and again turn these plastic pieces sideways so that we can slot them through those slits in the backboard. It's just a matter of getting that little stitched area through first, so that everything fits. Then, way up here, roughly where this circle is, there's a button on either side that needs to be disconnected. A push button that holds a pair of straps onto the backboard. So, open that up on both sides. And all the way higher up are another pair of push buttons on straps to disconnect. And then you can finally release the main seat textiles from the backboard. This lower portion of the seat fabrics is quite difficult to remove without drilling out rivets, so it is my advice that you just wipe and hand wash this portion and don't attempt to remove it at all. Just do it on the seat frame. As far as the rest of the textiles go, they can all be washed on a cold wash of 30 degrees using whatever detergent you normally use for clothes. And you're going to want to hang them up to dry. Don't use a dryer. Okay, we're going to do the reassembly then. With the reassembly, we're going to then start with the seat fabrics. And we're going to slot them over the back and pull it down into place. I'm just going to pull that trigger out, through. And then we're going to start off with those straps that have the push buttons. So I'm going to reach up and get them. You're going to make sure that they go around the bars in the correct way. That's not really possible to show other than my hand going underneath, but you have, again, your ones up at the top. There we go. So that was that one and that one. Then again, there's one right around there. Reaching down in, finding it. Pulling it again through this way and connecting, and then the same on the other side. Next step is then going to be those plastic pieces that go through the holes here for the side straps, as well as here, and that's just to hold the entire fabric tight to the backboard. So starting with these side straps, pulling it out. You want to make sure they don't get twisted. And then you need to put it in sideways like this. Jimmy it through. There we go. And then the other side, sliding it through. There we go. Then we have the other ones. Slotting them in sideways, pulling it through. There we go. And there we go. Just pull these tight. And lastly, you have these elastic straps that are attached to the sidewalls. And these are going to go under there. And then through this hole here in the backboard. And then over these pegs on either side. In order to reiterate, what you have in order to put the main body of the seat back in place is 4 push buttons, 2 at the top, 2 in the middle. Then you have 4 of these strap buckles, and then you have these 2 elastic bands. And that's the main way in which that seat back is connected. And you can do the zipper. Go. Turning it around to this side. You then need to rethread the central buckle through. Go. And then of course just line up those Velcro. They sort of line up themselves. But you want it lined up as tightly and correctly as possible. And then we can feed this strap again through this loop here and button it in place. And then we can go back to these adapters for the canopy. Again, the window faces outwards. So you're just going to slot it in there until it clicks into place. And we can move on to the canopy. Then returning to the canopy, you just want to slot the main strut into that channel and feed it all the way through. Make sure it doesn't get hung up on any stitches. Then we can place the back portion of the canopy over and line up that trigger hole. It's a good thing for kind of getting it all in place. And you can of course readjust these Velcros afterwards, but I'm going to just attach them. Go. Anytime you're working with textiles, there's always a little bit of after adjustment to pull everything nice and tight and straight. And then we're going to reattach that strut. So you're just going to, wait, before the strut, you have this elastic band that needs to go all the way around that adapter. Go. All the way down to the bottom. And then you can pop that strut into place, and it'll click when you press it in far enough. And there you go. You can rethread your seat liner if you like. Otherwise, you're set up for summer conditions. So in any case, that was our removal of the seat textiles for the Nuna Triv and remounting of them. We hope this video was useful to you, and if it was, we ask you to subscribe as it helps us to continue making videos in the future. Thank you.